that I can speak out to. So I'm trying to give some good reasoning here for why we should maybe consider these things a little bit, a little bit better before we just dive right in. And maybe one day we don't ever have to worry and you can just vibe code your whole life and everything's fantastic and coding becomes a completely useless skill. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but okay, yeah, I could be wrong. Hey, I could be wrong, people.
Autonomy, and I've kind of worked on this, I think, for 5 years at Tesla. And this is also a partial autonomy product and shares a lot of the features. Like, for example, right there in the instrument panel is the GUI of the autopilot.
By the way, I think this is one of the most atrocious design decisions of all time. I actually think it should be illegal to have a touchscreen in a car. If you don't give me a manual volume raiser until I do not have to drive a single cent of the way, then you shall not take my eyes off the road. It is somehow not illegal, which blows my mind. Like, yes, if I didn't have to drive, give me all the screens you want to give me all over the place. I don't care. But the fact that I can't press buttons is insane. Absolutely insane. Dude, crazy. Crazy.
So it's showing me what the neural network sees and so on. And we have the autonomy slider, where over the course
it's
of
a W take. I know it's a W take. It is.
We did more and more autonomous tasks for the user.
I have a volume button on the wheel. Yeah, that's good. Because that way your hands can literally stay on the wheel and you can go like this. Wow, that's normal. Instead of like, hold on, sound menu, oh shit, I just ran over somebody. Dude, like what kind of crazy, like who thought that was okay? Boomer take, glad to have this as a boomer take. This is a good boomer take. This should be something we should not allow to happen. I don't want a 35-mile-an-hour moving machine that weighs 1,000 pounds flying down the streets where my kids might be walking because somebody can't keep their eye on it because they're trying to like make a dial go up and down. Like that's the last thing I want in my life. I said 1,000, which is way under. It's like I think there's somewhere between 1,200 to probably 2,500 depending on the vehicle. Yeah, I have no idea what the
and maybe the story that I wanted to tell.
In fact, actually, I literally have no idea. Let's find out. How much does the average car weigh? We'll go to Google for this one. Sorry, Pewdie. Sorry, PewdsPie. Oh, wow. Okay. That's crazy.
Actually, the first time I drove a self-driving vehicle was in 2013. And I had a friend who worked at Waymo. And
oh, man, I cannot. I'm about to hot take so hard here.
He offered to give me a drive around Palo Alto. I took this picture using Google Glass at the time. And many of you are so young that you might not even know what that is. Yeah, this.
He used Google Glass. This actually greatly changes my perspective about him. Okay, we're putting things together. We'll talk in a moment.
This was like all the rage at the time. And we got into this car, and we went for about a 30-minute drive around Palo Alto, highways, streets, and so on. And this drive was perfect. There was 0 interventions. And this was 2013, which is now 12 years ago. And it kind of struck me because at the time when I had this perfect drive, this perfect demo, I felt like, wow, self-driving is imminent because this just worked. This is incredible. But here we are 12 years later, and we are still working on autonomy. We are still working on driving agents. And even now, we haven't actually like fully solved the problem. Like you may see Waymos going around and they look driverless, but there's still a lot of teleoperation and a lot of human in the loop of a lot of this driving.
I did not know that.
So we still haven't even like declared success, but I think it's definitely like going to succeed at this point. But it just took a long time.
Okay, what's the takeaway?
So I think like this is software is really
sound
tricky,
is different.
I think in the same way that driving is tricky. And so when I see things like, 2025 is the year of agents, I get very concerned. And I kind of feel like, this is the decade of agents. And
good takeaway. This is a good takeaway. In fact, I would, maybe this is the decade of self-driving cars. We haven't even we're still 12 years away from it not even working. We actually have no idea what the future is going to be like. I remember all the self-driving. Like, I was just new to the Bay Area in 2013, and I remember seeing self-driving cars 12 years ago. I remember being like, wow, dude, it's right around the corner. I'll give it like 6 months, and we should see more. Dude, you know how many people I remember in 2014 tell me it was like 6 months away from these things happening? There's definitely a thing here. Good self-driving would be prevalent today if there weren't for regulators. Well, there's a little bit more than regulators. There's also a lot of other things, right? Waymo has some, like, self-driving has some pretty tough times in some various snow-based environments. There's can be some various outside effects that can make things hard. It's not just as simple as it would be everywhere right now if there weren't for them damn regulators. Which, by the way, you know me and the government. You already know that I'm not a huge fan of the government, so I'm kind of already on your team. Okay, you don't even have to sell me. I'm like, well, they take my freedom, right? But nonetheless, right? It turns out regulations is okay sometimes. Sometimes it's okay because for a long time, people forgot that the car had a problem distinguishing a bundle of sticks and a baby. So, like, there's also that. That's like a big problem. But nonetheless, to get to the point of all this is that, first off, him being a glass hole really shapes a lot of how I now see him. If you were wearing a Google Glass in 2013, what this really means is this guy is truly a tech like maximalist that believes that believes that the future is now, right? You know how many people that were wearing Google Glass thought that the whole world was going to go AR like at that moment? In the next 6 months, we're all AR boys. Everybody, dude, get your baby on AR. They're going to get left behind if they aren't knowing how to navigate the world in AR land, right? It's just like, okay. And then guess what happened? We all called them glass holes because we all thought they were super annoying. And now Meta, 10 years later, 12 years later, is re-releasing out the exact same thing, except with the partnership of Ray-Bans, and people are like, okay, it's not that bad now. I mean, I could give, I'd give some Ray-Bans a try with a little bit of hearing on it. I'd give it a shot. On those ones. But it's kind of crazy, right? It's just that it took this long, and people are still like, meh, glass holes. Right, so he probably overestimates the integration of technology, because I'm going to tell you a little secret. I don't think my mom cares. And I have a sneaking suspicion your mom doesn't care either. Right? They don't care. There's a lot of people that just don't care about the technology. They don't really want AR. They just want to live their life. They enjoy not being connected in.